Hello and welcome to the final Portadown preview show of 21-22 season. I'm Neil, and alongside me tonight I'm joined by Mark Beattie and Jonny Dunlop. Fellas, how you keeping?
Not too bad, thanks, Dave.
No, all good, Neil.
Excellent. Jonny, you should be absolutely buzzing. I'm hearing that you're going to be giving team talks the next couple of weeks after receiving words of wisdom from the Olympic hero, Kurt Angle.
Yeah, definitely. Going to get him in for the Annagh game, I think. Bring us gold medals.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true. Right, folks.
Mark loving it.
He's completely lost, but then he lacks integrity, intensity, and intelligence, doesn't he? Before we kick on, folks, don't forget to like and subscribe to We Are Reports TV YouTube channel, and you can find us on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, etc. Right, so it's been 2 weeks, Jonny, since me and you last done the show, and there's been 3 games in that time. We'll touch on them briefly. We'll not dissect them too much because there's so much to talk about, so to speak. So in the space of our show the other week, we lost at home to Warren Point, which was disappointing. So obviously 1-0 defeat there, Keelan Dillon penalty. They then lost away to... Hold on, has there been 4 games? No, hold on. The last show we talked about the Warren Point game, didn't we?
Yeah,
sorry.
That's right.
Sorry, I'm all pissed, right? So since then, we've got beat by Ballymena away in controversial fashion. I think that's pretty safe to say. We drew at home to Dungannon, and we have lost away to Glenavon on Saturday there at Mumphy Park, 1-0. Jonny, seeing that you were with me on the show the other week, I'm going to let Mark go first. So, Mark, you can give us your thoughts. Jonny seems very down the dumps there, so you give us your thoughts on the last couple of weeks.
We'll just go over quickly. Like you said, the Ballymena game, I do feel like we were robbed of a point, if not a bit more. I thought outside of I think the penalty probably was a penalty. It's one of those ones where it's a foul anywhere and on the pitch except for in the area, and generally referees don't give them in the penalty box, but he had originally given the free kick and then was overruled by his linesman, and then he had to give the penalty because he'd already blew for the foul. So probably was a penalty. The free kick that they scored the winning goal from wasn't a free kick. It was a free kick the other way. I thought Jack Smith was fouled. Should have had a penalty for the GBH on Paddy McNally, where he got a couple of fists into his nose. So yeah, I thought we were unlucky there. Generally battled well with Ballymena, took the lead. Outside of the controversial goals that Ballymena got, really didn't test us that much. I thought I didn't think we were under too much pressure. Although in saying that, we didn't create an awful lot either. I think it was sort of 2 out of form teams really playing. But yeah, thought we should have got at least a point that game. Dungannon got a point. Both teams never really created anything. Typically in the season stuff, onus was on us maybe to do more. Dungannon were happy with the point. It secured them safely. But we didn't really create enough to justify winning the game. So I think a draw was a fair result. Saturday, then we had a Mornview. It was a strange game. I sort of wanted us to come out a bit more expansive and try to get a few goals. But then did Glenavon really do anything outside of a couple of wee half chances and the goal, obviously? I thought it was their chance to really try to stomp on us and send us packing. It was their chance to get the win, which secured their European playoff spot. And whatever, but they didn't really do anything. They were happy just with the 1 goal and get the 3 points. But I was a wee bit disappointed with us not coming out as much at Mornview. But then it's Glenavon, and you always want to be, as a Portadown fan, you want to be doing better there. So yeah, disappointed enough. We're in the playoff, so it is what it is. What did you guys make of the 3 games?
Go ahead, Jonny.
I would probably tend to agree with what you said there. I didn't think, I was up at the Ballymena game with yourself. I didn't think there was much between the 2 teams whatsoever. I can't really remember Ballymena testing us bar their penalty and their free kick. Like you said, we took the lead. Should have had a penalty. Paddy McNally was absolutely poleaxed in the box. And it just is what it is. Dungan Swift's game, I don't think either team probably done enough to take the 3 points. Although I think the Swifts hit the bar, hit the post, didn't they?
Yeah, crossbar. Yeah.
So they did. They probably had the best chances. I thought right at the death, Adam Solly was gonna grab the winner, but it just wasn't to be. And I agree with you 100% about last Saturday. I thought we probably should have come out a bit more and just went for it with nothing to lose. Carrick were 3 down, I think, after about half an hour. So absolutely nothing to lose. But it's been the story of our season where there's not enough goals in the team, unfortunately, and we don't create enough, and we don't look like scoring a great amount of goals, unfortunately. And I think it showed in those 3 games.
Yep. No, I think you're right. Even going back to the Dungannon game there last week, I thought it was as dull as dishwater, to be perfectly honest. It was a really, really poor game. And it's just sort of like as if the season sort of petering out a wee bit, and not even just for Portadown, just for other teams, down at the bottom of the league as well.
Yeah.
So listen, like you said, we're in the playoff. And sorry, go ahead, Jonny.
I was going to say, the derby there on Saturday felt like a pre-season game, but there was big things riding for both teams on it. Glenavon had to win, wanted to win to help guarantee a spot in the European playoffs. We needed to win to try and bring it to the last day against Carrick, but it just felt like a real end of season players on the beach sort of a game, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the end of the season, obviously, like we said, we've got it. We're in the playoffs now, but we'll touch on that after we speak about the Carrick game this weekend. So our last game of the season in the league, is at home to Carrick Rangers this Saturday at Shamrock Park at 5:30. Like we said, we're in the playoff here, confirmed, of course. Now it's going to be Annagh United, but of course, it's not officially confirmed because they can technically still win the league, but they need an absolutely absurd goal swing and hope that Newry get beat. But realistically, it's going to be Annagh United here. Like, let's be honest. But before we get into that, Saturday we have Carrick at home. Mark, put yourself in Paul Doolan's shoes. What do you do? Do you go full strength, or do you go right with a big game on Tuesday, with a big game on Friday? I'm going to give fringe players or like you subs and all a chance.
I think if there was more time between the 2 games, he might have went a bit stronger. But with it being a Saturday, Tuesday, can you really put out a few of the starters who might be not necessarily are injured, but maybe have the potential to pick up a wee knock here and there? Is there much point risking that? Guys like Paddy McNally, I'm not sure if he's back in time with whatever after getting his nose punched against Panamina or whatever. But Hard Baverland, I know he's been out for a few games. If he's back, is there much point throwing him in? No, there's not. If there's a chance he'll be ready for the playoff, because there's a lot more riding on it, basically. So it's hard to know. I know Paul Doolan was at the under-18s final on Friday night when they beat Newry City 7-1 to lift the cup. So he's bound to have been impressed with some of the young players coming through as well. And it may be a good chance to say, listen, go and get a taste of this and see if you're ready for it. I don't think it'll be total change 11. I think it'll be some players in there that are going to be starting at the Annagh. And it's a chance for some of them boys outside of the 11 to say, no, play me on Tuesday night, play me on Friday night, I'm ready for this, So yes, it is an end of season dead rubber. There's nothing writing on it. It's just a fixture to play it, get it done with. But there's places, because let's be honest, the 11 that has started, while there's been some decent individual performances, there's still places up for grabs. So it's not like this is our 11 because they're brilliant. There's space in here for people to put their hand up and have a good individual performance and make their way into what is a big set of fixtures for the club.
Indeed, Johnny. What way would you approach Saturday then?
I would not be playing any nailed on first team player, to be honest with you. On Saturday, I will be giving even players like Elliot Dugan, Jamal Japuri, Jack Smith, Nathan Kerr game time on Saturday. I'll probably keep Paul Finnegan and Adam McCallum in as well, because both haven't played much football over the past couple of months really. But I would be playing. You can pronounce his name, Mark. What do you call it? The young lad scored the hat trick.
Igor Rutkowski.
Yep, I'll be playing. I'll give him a go as well.
Yeah.
Harry Doherty and Nets. I would just give the fringe players and squad players a bit of game time on Saturday, and as Mark says, let them stake their claim for a place in the playoffs as well.
Yep. I agree with you 100%. There's nothing like, obviously you don't want to end your league campaign on a defeat or anything like that, but the reality is we can't go any higher, we can't go any lower. We're going into the playoff. This game means nothing, the dead rubber, so to speak. Whereas the playoff next week is obviously the big game, like. So I would agree with that entirely. I agree with you. It's just, Johnny, I'm taking you. I'm going with you in this one. Everyone, you're not playing. Anyone that's going to play on Tuesday or Friday, I wouldn't be playing at all. Like that's the way I look at it. So there's nothing rested on this Saturday, and of course you don't want to lose. You never want to lose a game of football, but this next week's big.
Priorities.
You got to prioritize, right? Next week, like I said, it's going to be realistically. It's not realistic. It's happening. It's going to be Annagh United versus Portadown on Tuesday night at Tandragee Road. Obviously, Annagh United are also from Portadown, so I suppose it's a battle of Portadown, so to speak. And to be fair to Annagh United, they've done absolutely fantastically well this season. Nobody give them. I don't think anybody was expecting Annagh to push and do as well as what they've done, but they're going to finish second in the league, which is an absolutely fantastic turnaround for them. They've came out of nowhere, so to speak, the last couple of years, and they've really shut up those leagues. So you got to say fair play and tip your hat to them in that aspect. But obviously, Portadown need to mean business here on Tuesday, and we've got to get the job done here. So, Johnny, what way would you approach the game then on Tuesday?
I just think it's a difficult one. I'm sure the Annagh will come flying out of the blocks. The normal scenario with playoff is the team in the championship's coming off the back of winning their games most of the season. That's why they've finished second, while the team in the Premiership has had a disappointing season and are probably coming off the back of a number of defeats, which is why they finished where they finished. But I think since Paul has come in, we have added that wee bit of stateliness, especially in defence. We don't look as susceptible to goals as we did. So I just think we'll have to go in, use our experience. They're saying that Annagh have experience there as well, like Stephen Murray, Ryan Harper, players like that. Have quite a number. Niall Henderson. They've all a number of Premiership games under their belt. But I just hope our experience, and we've been playing the higher league. We're used to playing better teams. And I hope that comes through on Tuesday evening.
There's a whole, obviously, well, the three players you mentioned, they're all exported down as well. But the likes of Peter Duffin and all too.
Christian Stewart's another one.
Harry Taylor, Lee Upton, Jordan Campbell, I think, spent time in the youth as well. So quite a few. Yeah,
quite a few exported down players there. So of course they're going to want to prove a point as well. And like you say, whenever Ryan Harper dropped down into the championship, I sort of whoa, I'm a bit surprised by that, because I always think Ryan's a smashing player, and so that the very solid midfield stuff as well. Niall Henderson, of course, used to play at Portadown as well. He's Annagh's captain, isn't he?
Yeah, him and Ryan Harper, I think, share the duties.
Right. Okay. So that they've a good experienced midfielder. Like this is going to be a very difficult game, and obviously the first leg is at Tandragee Road. The second leg on Friday will be at Shamrock Park. So we've actually got a wee bit of a preview show exclusive here. So I will hand the reins over to Mark.
Go to Jonny. Jonny knows it all.
Or am I just going to end up doing this here if you don't want to say it?
No, I said I don't mind. So the board of directors had a meeting and stuff, and decided that it'll be free entry on the Friday night game at Shamrock Park in the playoff. It's been a hard season for everybody. Financial issues globally are an issue. A lot of prices going up, etc. And the board have just it's a bit of a thank you to people who come along. Listen, it's an extra game we weren't expecting. Maybe not weren't expecting, but in your season ticket, whatever, you weren't really planning for this.
Sorry, Mark. Mark, were you saying you weren't expecting this game because you thought we were going to finish last and wouldn't have a playoff
yes,
to look forward
correct.
to?
Yep, exactly. It's a success. No, so the board have decided to let a free entry in. So how that's going to work, I'm not overly sure yet. Jonny might know more than me than that, but I'm sure the news will be on the website and stuff very shortly. So there'll be free entry in on the Friday night game at Summer Park, which is it's a pretty good gesture in my eyes from the club.
So basically, for anyone listening or watching, what that basically translates as, get yourself to Shamrock Park next Friday, because to quote Lord Kitchener, your football club needs you. So right enough, this is obviously massive, in Portadown's recent history and stuff. And of course, you want to get relegated and stuff. The big game coming up here against Annagh United, 2 big games. So the club really needs your support. So get yourself to Tandragee Road, get yourself to Shamrock Park for next week.
Absolutely. And it's a big thing. I know we're talking about the 2 games or whatever. You very rarely get 2-legged games in the Irish League. It's not a common thing. I know we're all used to it watching the Champions League and the European games on the television, but it's not something you get. So maybe it's not something our players and managers are used to having to sort of tactically work around. What way do you approach the away leg with the away goals and stuff? I don't think away goals count as double in this. Jonny, is that right?
No, I don't think they do. No.
Yeah, but it's still something to look at. Do you play differently away from home in the first leg and then approach it differently at home? So it's something different, which we don't really get to see an awful lot. So it'll be an interesting tactical battle. I know looking at the Annagh's season, they score a lot of goals, but they seem to concede quite a few as well. So they're a pretty open team if the stats are anything to go by. Whereas Portadown don't score an awful lot. I've kept teams roughly, they've very rarely been embarrassed. They don't concede an awful lot. They lose by the odd goal. So maybe they're a tighter team. Don't score, don't concede an awful lot. So it's going to be interesting to see what the sides compare at different levels as well. Does it change when the Annagh play a team from the Premier League? Do they get tighter and less expansive? And when Portadown play a team in the lower league, do they get more expansive? So it'll be very interesting to see how the 2 teams approach tactically as well as individually.
Like you said there, because it is 2 legs, I think if it was only 1 leg, you would be more inclined for a team to come at it, right off the bat. But the fact that it's 2 legs, it might mean it's a bit more cagey, because sort of who blinks first, who wants to make the first move, so to speak. So as you say, it's sort of perfectly poised at the minute, is it? Because, but then again, like you said, Jonny, Annagh obviously have won most of their games this season, whereas we're the complete opposite. But you see, the thing that would give me hope, of course, is in recent weeks, okay, the Warren Point game was disappointing, and I know we got beat by Ballymena, I know we got beat by Glenavon there as well, but I think the Ballymena game, we were very unlucky. Glenavon, we weren't really at it. Warren Point was a disappointing performance, but even in the lead up to that, you'd beaten the likes of Ballymena, beaten Coleraine, we'd beaten Warren Point before that. So there is hope that Portadown can get the win here next week, and that's what they'll be looking to do, of course.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. The Annagh haven't an awful lot to lose. They weren't expected to be in this position, so they're on bonus time. They're thinking this is brilliant. They're going to go hell for leather, possibly. They're going to throw everything at it, and why not? Because they've never been to this level before, so they can just go for it. So it's going to be interesting to see on their side as well. I've known a lot of people around the Annagh for a long time, and a lot of decent people there as well. I'm friendly with them, so it'll be interesting to see those faces back again. I don't think I've ever expected these two sides to meet. I know a lot of Portadown fans would have went to the Annagh when Portadown weren't playing and stuff, including myself. I been going down there for years watching games, so it'll be interesting to see the two sides come up. I always said my bread's buttered on the Portadown side, so that's what side it falls at. But it's going to be interesting.
I think it's because it's the Annagh. It makes it more. It's made me more nervous. Just purely, even daring to think that the Annagh could become the senior club in the town. I think that's where the nerves come in. I don't think it would be just as nervous if we were playing a Ballinamallard or an Ards or somebody like that. While it would still be a massive game, I just don't think that the nerves would be the same.
And a plastic pitch away from home as well might come into effect. There's something different from the two sides as well, where the grass pitch at Shamrock will play a lot different. So there's an awful lot of variables going into these two legs. It's an interesting battle.
Indeed. Right. I don't really think there's too much more to add. I think we've covered all bases here in regards to the three games coming up. Like we said, folks, we will review these games and the season in general once the playoff is out of the way, and hopefully, fingers crossed, Portadown will win that over the two legs and be in the playing Premiership football next season. But like we said, it's going to be a very difficult two legs. Annagh are there on merit, fully deserved, and they'll be more than up for it. And that's why I was saying we need all the support we can possibly get. So everyone needs to get down to Tandragee Road. Everyone needs to get the Shamrock Park, because this is, there's a lot riding on it for both teams. So I'm sure it promises to be a very good and entertaining. Well, I don't know if it'll be entertaining, because I think there'll be quite a few people with brown trunks throughout the two legs, but hopefully Portadown can get the job done. Jonny, thank you as always for coming on the show.
No problem.
And Mark, same to yourself as well.
Thank you.
And folks, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to We Are Ports TV YouTube channel, and you can find us on Spotify, Anchor, etc., etc. So we will tie it up on that note. Come on, Portadown.